I'm not going to be before you long. Just something that I wanted to touch on, and that is long-term care facilities, commonly referred to as the nursing home. They have their purpose, but they are not for everyone. Let's just cut to the chase, brother teacher. I worked in a long-term care facility or facilities and have done in-home care for a little over a decade in my life. And I've worked at numerous facilities. I have seen the best, mediocre ones, and I have seen the worst. Unfortunately, I started with the worst. So I know fundamentally how they work. They tell us, they tell you that they have the best interest of the residents at heart. Is that really true? Now, mind you, 10 years is a long time to work in an institution and you don't know what's going on, which I've done. And I know many people who have had many, many years in the nursing facilities will tell you the same thing, but this is me telling to you. I've seen patient or residents being abused. I've seen it. And it's not a job or an occupation that anyone can do. You must have a concern for human life and safety. You must have a degree of empathy. All of these things wrapped in one bundle. You cannot be insensitive to the needs of another human being. You have to understand why they're there and that many of them can't cope with being there, those that are cognizant, if you will. And you must be understanding when they talk to you. You must realize, for the most part, that you have older generations of people that are in these facilities. But I personally, this is me, as I age, I'm getting older, but as I age, I would never like to be a resident of a long-term care facility. First of all, I believe that my living children should provide something comfortable for me in terms of a home, if not for them, for myself where I have care. But I don't want to go to a nursing facility and die there. Not me. Because I've witnessed them up close and personal. And we in America function commercially for the most part. It's all about the money, just to be straightforward. Just like the prison industrial complex is about the money. They have to keep so many prisoners contained, locked up, so that the prisons can get revenue from states and federal governments. Yes, you have to keep the cells full. It's the same in the nursing facility. As soon as someone dies in the nursing facility and a bed is empty, especially if they're a private individual, private paid, they have their own room and that bed is empty, they've got to fill their bed back up with another person, another body. I know this to be a fact. America is the most capitalistic country on the planet. It's about greed. Unfortunately, we have these institutions, and they are institutions, the long-term care facilities, because once you go there, that's your home until the day you die. It is a minuscule amount of people that will ever leave a nursing home and go home to their family. I've heard the stories. I've been told the stories by the elderly. When I worked there, they called me by my name, Reginald. My kids dropped me off here, and they hardly ever come and see me. I've heard that. Or they never come to visit me. I've heard that one. Or they only want my money. Heard that one. Or they want my inheritance. They want me to die so they can get my money. Or I've heard, I lost my house when I came here. This is not my home. They took my house, and now I'm here. So you have people, ladies and gentlemen, that are depressed, that's in the nursing homes. Of course, they have social workers and maybe a counselor and a doctor and a nurse or two in the facility. Does that replace their home? So why are they in the nursing home? That's the real question. Why are they there? In most instances, especially with black folks, if you kept them at home, they'd be in your way. Your mother and or your father or both, they're cramping your style. You don't have the freedom. But did you forget that they raised you? When you were born, that they clothed you, they changed your diapers. Same thing that's going on in the nursing home. They're just older, especially when they become incontinent and they can't feed themselves and they can't clothe themselves if they get to that point. They did all of that for you. And you drive them off to a place and you put them in this place, and you get so caught up in your life and your activities, and maybe even your children, if you're still parenting children younger than 18, hardly ever go see your loved ones in the nursing home because it's out the way, because it's too far, because you have some other things to do. Or you might call them on the phone every once in a while, every blue moon, and then they'll bring your loved one up to the nurse's station to talk to you for 5 minutes or less. I've seen this. This is true. We're the only country that has nursing homes on the level that we do. Most other countries, their family transitions on in the homes of their family. Most parents, mother or father, they die at home around someone who loves them, not around a bunch of strangers that they don't know. God forbid that there are agency people that work in these facilities who pop up whenever they don't have enough people to work in the nursing homes. They come in and out. They may not be someone consistently there all of the time. And some of them don't give them the best of treatment. Some of them are verbally abusive. Some of them are even physically abusive. I've seen it. This is where you're taking your family to. But my hat does indeed go off to some of you, because there are wives and husbands that come and visit their loved ones in the nursing home. There are some. I've seen it. But they're few and far between. I've seen that. And there's one lady, and my hat truly, truly goes off to her. Mrs. Rose. I'm sure her husband has long since been passed away, because it's been over 15 years since I've worked in those facilities. She was there every single day that I worked. She came in. She bathed him. She fed him breakfast, oftentimes lunch and dinner, until visiting hours were over. She'd leave and she'd start back over the next day. Mrs. Rose, she stands out in my mind. You don't see many people like that really love their family that's inside of a nursing home, where they visit their family so regular. There were some that would come once a week, some that would come 2 or 3 times a month. There were some who never came at all. And the people, the staff that worked there, actually were the family. Unfortunately, we were the family members, or close to family members, of those individuals that were there, because their biological families very rarely, if at all, came to visit them. Only in America. It's only about money. And the facility, again, as I said before, it's about keeping the place filled up with, let's just call it, customers. That's it. Now, I know there are circumstances. I do. I know there are circumstances where, depending on your situation, where you can't help it but to put or admit your loved one to one of these long-term care facilities. I'm not beating up on you. I'm talking about the ones who have plenty of time to go and visit their family members if they can't stay at home with them for some reason, some legitimate reason. I'm talking about the ones who like to go out and party every weekend. I'm talking about the ones who want to use as an excuse, I've got things to do, or it's too far, that nursing facility, or I don't have a car. Whatever the case, I'm talking about you. But I say it again, it's not about the residents, but it is about the residents. They really should not be a resident of a facility. Most of them, they should be family at home. That was it. Can you relate to this subject? If you have some first-hand knowledge of what I just said, some experience, please share it in the comment section below. May Yahweh bless you. So long.